Because right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks for sticking around for the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Rich Walsh. I'll be joined by Chris Mueller in a matter of moments over at the 93.7 The Fan Cam. And we're taking your phone calls, 412-575-2600. And speaking of smoke, Chris is one of those guys that is always throwing smoke either on the golf course or on the radio on the fan. And talking about the Buccos is probably one of them. Chris, one of my biggest questions, though, Mitch Keller not in the rotation the first opening series. Is that sending a message? Because I think it is.
I would like for it to be them sending him a message, Rich, because I think one needs to be sent that he's been nowhere near good enough as the one guy on that staff that's actually gotten paid something resembling real money. But I actually think that they will spin it as well. We don't want Jared Jones to go too long without throwing. They've been very careful about his rehab, or not rehab, I should say. But they've been very careful about the way they've handled him since he rejoined the big club, very deliberate in how they've handled him. Look no further than he gets lifted after 6 perfect innings, Rich. So I think that's what their spin will be. But I wish, maybe, you know what? I hope Keller's taking it as a message. I hope that they're not telling him, hey, Mitch, this is why we're doing this. I mean, he's the guy that's supposed to be up there with Ashcraft and Skeens, and then anything you get from, I think, Chandler and Jones would have been seen as a bonus. But Mitch Keller is their worst starter right now. And if you include Majinski as a guy that could actually get loosened back up and lengthened back out for starting, length roles, I think Keller's probably the 6th best sort of eligible starting pitcher, Rich, on their staff. And that's just, it's nowhere near good enough for a guy that I think they're paying with the idea that he's going to be a steady 3rd starter or at worst a really good 4th starter.
So what do you do here? I mean, the second half of the season starts on Friday. Your partner, Andrew Filipponi, was on here yesterday. He's bullish on the Pirates. I think they have a pretty legit chance with this offense of, making the postseason, especially a wild card bid there. I don't think they have any chance of winning the division, but I think they have a good chance of getting one of those 3 wild card spots. But they got to fix the bullpen. They got to fix the starting pitching. And the starting pitching, I think, has been a big problem for the bullpen because they're not getting into the 7th inning. It's been few and far between that these pitchers have gotten into the 7th inning. I don't know what you do here. You have to add to it. You have to bring in maybe new blood here and kind of change it up. But, I mean, at some point, if Keller continues to struggle, do you flip-flop him and Majinski?
I would consider it. It would be on the table for sure. I think that they might look at a guy like Chandler, though, who would have been otherwise willing to come out of the bullpen if they needed him to in previous years, has come out of the bullpen a little bit, and say he would be the other guy. You got to remember, too, I mean, this is the double whammy, Rich. Ashcraft is probably going to be on an innings restriction, or they're going to be watching his innings closely. I still think they're probably watching Chandler's innings closely. We know that they're watching Jones's innings closely. Skeens is not on any kind of limit. He's just going to go out there and take the ball. I think that's the other huge problem that Keller has created for them, is that they probably assumed he could eat up 190-plus innings this year, and he's just been bad at it. And really, the problem with them not getting deep enough into games is something that starts with Skeens, though, and goes all the way down. None of these guys are pitching deep. Obviously, Jones really has no opportunity to because he's on a pretty strict limit. And they are making a bad bullpen work harder, and that's a problem. You can kind of hide a bad bullpen either with a great offense, which they do have, and or a great starting pitching, which they thought they would get in there. They're not getting it. I would look to a potential trade acquisition. Like Robbie Ray's name is getting thrown around. The Giants are horrible. He's a lefty. He's somebody that would be a pure rental and would cost you something decent, but probably not one of your 2 or 3 best prospects, which is Hernandez and Florentino and Murph Gray. That would be something I'd look at, Rich. I think a lot of teams are going to want him. That's the other thing, too, about this rotation. Like, I think you get a situation in a given series where if a team sees the same type of pitcher, they're probably going to start like timing it up a little bit and getting used to that. What do the Pirates try to throw at teams right now? Basically 5 right-handed power arms, guys who want to throw the ball hard, who want to throw the ball with a lot of movement on the breaking pitches. There's no lefty to break it up. So if you have a chance to get maybe an innings eater like Robbie Ray, somebody like that, I think that would be a worthwhile trade to pursue.
How many more chances do you give Keller?
2. You want me to put a number on it? I'd say 2. If he has 2 more bad starts, you have to have like a come to Jesus moment with him, and you have to look yourself in the mirror as a team and say, what are we trying to do here? Placate Mitch Keller, who's a veteran, and make sure that he knows that he's still got a spot in this rotation, or put our best 5 out there every single day. And at that point, he wouldn't be one of your best 5. He probably isn't now. He claims he was working on some things that he needed that little bit of extra time off that the All-Star break gives you to figure out. I don't know if I buy that, because it's really about the same length of time between starts for him, maybe a little bit longer. But if he doesn't come back having worked on this stuff, having figured out his problems, and looking like a different pitcher, I'd give him 2 starts, and then I'd really think about putting Carmen Majinski in there.
Yeah, and I think his trade value obviously is at its lowest. I mean, you're not going to even get anything for him if you kind of got rid of him.
I'm not thinking about that with him. I mean, I'd still like to have Mitch Keller turn it around here and show that he can be somebody that eats up 6 innings and kind of gives you something resembling a quality start. But, yeah, there's no trade value whatsoever there. I mean, they're stuck with him. It just now looks like a really bad contract, and you honestly, Rich, as crazy as it sounds, go back to that Rockies game where he was perfect through the first 4 innings, and then Colorado just very abruptly teed off on him in that game several weeks back, if you'll remember. He really hasn't been the same pitcher since, and they're being hurt by the kind of the downstream effects of that.
All right, we got to take a break, but I want to get your opinion on some trades, potential trades the Pirates could make to make them better. 412-575-2600 is the number. Back in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. This is our Xfinity Tweet of the Night, and as we were just talking about the projected starters for the weekend, no Mitch Keller there, but you see Jared Jones. He's going to start things off on Friday against the Cleveland Guardians, and then Saturday you have Braxton Ashcraft, followed by Paul Skeens on Sunday in Cleveland, and the Pirates head to New York. So 2 tough series, actually 4 tough series, Chris, and I feel like this kind of goes back to that Atlanta series a few weeks ago when the Pirates needed to win 6 games during that stretch there, and they could only win 1. They got to at least try to go 500 against these teams, or maybe a couple games above.
Well, I think, you're talking about that Atlanta-Dodgers series back-to-back where they had 6 games. They went 1-5, and the only win was the Tyler Callahan sort of star and hero turn game. That was where you wanted to see them at least maybe be competitive, go 2-4, 3-3, 4-2 would have felt like a bonus, and they just mostly got outclassed. I think they're in the midst of 15 tough games here, starting with that extra. Okay, here's the other Atlanta series. You only get one of those 3, but you really get a boost by sweeping the Brewers. You don't have to see Mizorowski. Take 2 or 3 from the Guardians. They can't hit. My God, Rich, do you know who is the starting catcher for the Cleveland Guardians? The guy who's actually getting a lot of playing time?
Yeah.
Austin Hedges.
Yeah.
I mean, he's having a good season, but I'd be more afraid of Austin Bechtel digging into the box against the Pirates. I mean, no, it's a team that pitches the ball really well. It has got randomly Colin Holderman in their bullpen doing good things as a setup guy, but the Guardians pitch the ball great. But they don't hit the ball. I think good hitting, especially in the regular season, can actually beat good pitching. Go out there, outslug them, put pressure on them, and then go into Yankee Stadium for once and don't be like this intimidated team. With Aaron Judge out, the Yankees have gone or not gone as Bellinger has not gone or not gone, excuse me. And I think the Pirates can get 4 of the next 6. And if you do that suddenly, then you're in a place where you are, 8-4 in a 12-game stretch, and you've guaranteed yourself over this 15-game run that you're going to be over 500. I think that is attainable in what they should be shooting for. I think this Brewer series might have been a humongous shot in the arm for them. Yeah,
I want offense over pitching. We saw what pitching did last year, no offense. So I think you can kind of fix pitching a little bit with maybe some acquisitions at the trade deadline. But it's hard to fix an offense, especially a struggling offense like the Pirates had last year. Let's go out to Chuck in Uniontown. How you doing, Chuck?
Good evening, fellas. Thanks. I initially had my doubts about whether the Pirates can make the playoffs, but I think the most important thing that they will enhance their chances if the game's known and they lose and don't give them away, because if they lose and don't give them away, and now if either of you two think the Pirates are going to make the playoffs, who are the current wild card teams right now? Do you think they will dislodge to get in there?
Well, Chuck, I'm glad you asked that, because I think that's like the relevant question when you evaluate a team's chances is, do you like their ability to hunt down anyone in front of them? Rich, I won't speak for you. I'm a big believer in my guy Pythagoras, and by that I mean the Pythagorean theorem, which takes into account run differential and gives you a Pythagorean win-loss. Like, hey, if you're outscoring teams by a lot but you're only 500 or so, you probably are underperforming your metrics. Guess who's doing that? The Pirates. Guess who's probably overperforming based on their win-loss record right now, what they should be?
Miami.
The St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, St. Louis Cardinals.
Miami to a smaller extent. The Cardinals are absolutely gettable. They're the team immediately ahead of the Pirates. The Marlins have a weirdly good offense. It's not a power offense, but they score a lot of runs. And they got that Marlins occasional devil magic going. I think the Pirates are better than the Cardinals. I think they should surpass the Cardinals. I think St. Louis should fade. And the Pirates should definitely clear them. And I think they're actually a better team than the Marlins, although that one might not be as clear-cut. Chuck's point is well taken, though. Just stop giving away games, and you're probably going to almost, like, stumble into an 8-2 stretch that really puts you in more firm command of things.
You know, San Diego, Arizona, do either one of those teams, they're right kind of in the mix, too. Do they scare you?
San Diego's got no offense. I mean, just a hideous down year for pretty much every supposed big name. Jackson, Merrill, all their guys are just having a heck of a time offensively getting anything going. They don't scare me. No, that's not a team that I'm really thinking hard about. Arizona's kind of the same thing. They're muddling along. I mean, I think it was a talking point so early in the season when it was all 5 teams over 500, and then with the Reds having finally fallen off, maybe it's gone away, but this is still the Thunderdome in Major League Baseball that the Pirates are in. Like, I think it can warp perspective. You say, oh, no, they're just not very strong. They're not that good of a team. Well, they're the 4th best team right now in their own division, but they're probably about the 7th best team in baseball, 8th best team in baseball. Like you just look at run differential, they're 6th best. They'd be 2nd in the American League in that category. So I think they can leapfrog the Cardinals, probably the Marlins, and I think, frankly, they should if they get their act together a little bit with the pitching. Yeah,
and Washington's kind of a scary team, too. They got a good offense. I mean, they're tied with the Pirates with 516 runs. All right, let's go out to Joe in Green Tree. How you doing, Joe? Joe, you there?
Hey, how you doing? Yes.
Yeah. You got a question, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the Pirates could do good if they get rid of Keller and Sanchez and pick up some good relief pitching because their hitting's good and Cruz is coming back.
Yeah,
I think the Steels can go far.
Look, I know you brought up Keller. They're not going to get anything for him right now, so I think that would be just a bad move to kind of trade him now. Maybe that's an off-season kind of move.
Who else did he want him to get rid of?
Sanchez. I don't know. I was trying to figure that out. Maybe he was talking about Santana.
Did he want them to just pull the old...
I think he was talking about Santana. I'm guessing Santana, right?
Okay, I was going to say, was he trying to ask that they pull the just trade Keller for Christopher Sanchez, the old our bad pitcher for your Cy Young frontrunner pitcher? Yes, Santana, I would imagine, is the name he was thinking of. Listen, just to bring the bullpen up here, Rich, because Keller just looks lost. Just one of these guys in the bullpen. Maybe, oh no, you need 2 of them. You need help there too, but man, just 2 of those guys, like Santana specifically is one, and maybe a guy like Matson that was so good attacking with the fastball. Just get these guys hitting their spots and locating. Maybe it's time off for the All-Star break helps them, and it would just be an immeasurable boost because it's fun to watch them slug the ball around. I love watching offense in the rare times when the Pirates are the team actually providing it. It's kind of wild to think about this year. But every game, the minute the bullpen enters, it just becomes Mr. Toad's wild ride, and you just can't sustain that this long. I mean, they've done such an admirable job fighting through injuries to some of their most dynamic offensive players. You've got to have some easy wins, man. You got to have more basically what you got on Sunday before the break, a 14-5 laugher that was never close after the 4th inning.
John in Lower Borough. How you doing, John?
Doing well.
Thanks for calling.
Pirates should definitely sign Brandon Lau, and he is their most productive player. They should sign him for $25 to $30 million per year.
I think that's crazy.
4 years.
John, I appreciate the call. I mean, I would trade Brandon.
Wait, why is 4 years crazy? Why is 4 years, $100 million crazy for a guy that can thump at a spot where most players don't thump.
You're right. He's having a great year, but his production the last few weeks has kind of dipped a little bit. I mean, he's leading the team with home runs. I got to give him credit. He's a player. There's no question about it. I know we don't like to look at averages here. I mean, his average is, what, 240, but, you know, he's a gamer. He's passing the eye test.
But you said you'd trade him, though? You would consider trading him?
I'm glad he brought up Lau's name, because I think he's someone you can trade. You'd have to do some kind of 3-team deal because no one that's out of the race is going to trade for a guy that's on an expiring deal. So you'd have to try to trade him. But I think you can get enough for him, and that would help with the needs that the Pirates have.
Now,
and you
I just think that would send...
You said it would send a bad message in the clubhouse, maybe.
It would send a horrible signal to fans, to players in that clubhouse. He's had a slight dip, but he still has 21 homers. Like, I don't think you can discount the fact that they've basically been able to stick him in the number 2 spot in the lineup all year, regardless of who's been healthy or not healthy around him, and know that he's going to thump doubles, thump home runs, and just be a catalyst for this team. I don't think you can do that. Here's the contract discussion I want to have. How much longer do you need to see Esmeralyn Valdez carry this team offensively and be this huge spark before you start thinking about long-term deal there, Rich?
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. And I don't know what kind of money we're talking about, but it could be similar to what a similar kind of situation is like Gregory Polanco, right? I wanted him to do it with Josh Bell years ago.
How about 8 years, $110 million? If I said Esmeralyn Valdez finishes with like 22 home runs and like a 900 OPS.
I think it's too early to start talking about a $100 million contract with him. You don't, obviously.
They signed Connor Griffin to one before he ever played a major league game or whatever.
Yeah, but Connor Griffin was one of those guys that everyone thought he was going to be the best player that ever lived. You haven't really heard. This guy had a breakout season last year.
But you can't let somebody's preconceived, scouting report or what the cognoscenti is saying about somebody determine whether or not they're worthy of a contract. If Valdez looks like he's going to be a guy that has an advanced approach at the plate and is going to be able to hit you 30 to 35 home runs, maybe more, because he's in his early 20s, I would get through this season. I think they know him pretty well. He's been in the organization for like 5 years, and I'd be talking 8 years and 9 figures. That guy looks like he's got unobtainium here, which is raw, ridiculous right-handed power that transcends this or any other ballpark.
All right, we got to take a break. Back in a couple minutes. Hey, tomorrow, Chris, thanks for your time here today, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Hopefully we see you guys on
Tom Kim,
KDKA-TV
Kim or Patrick Reed to
Rory
win the
McIlroy.
Open.
I'm going to go with the favorite. I'm going with one of the favorites. See you at KDK News.